44. Kinds of plants. Plant.
The tropical rainforest is full of plants which scientists haven't discovered yet. The villagers demanded that the new chemical plant should be closed. The Chinese government plans to plant trees to stop the spread of deserts.
Vegetation.
The vegetation in the island is mainly tropical and subtropical.
Deciduous.
The maple and oak are deciduous trees.
Evergreen.
The pine is an evergreen that bears pine cones. The number of evergreen plants is great in the high mountains.
Bush.
The tiger was hiding in the bush, watching the prey.
Shrub.
She transplanted flowering shrubs, such as roses, into her garden.
Moss.
This kind of moss grows on rocks during the rainy season.
Transplant. Transplant.
The trees grow in a greenhouse and are transplanted into a garden or a park. Doctors transplanted a heart into the patient. There are many people waiting for organ transplants.
Weed.
The garden is full of weeds. We need to weed the garden. We need to weed out ineffective programs to save the budget.
Horticulture.
Horticulture refers to the study and practice of growing plants, such as flowers, vegetables, and fruit trees.
Stalk.
The stalk is a narrow part of a plant that supports the leaves, flowers, or fruits.
Thorn.
The thorn is a sharp point that grows on the stem of a plant, such as a rose.
Stem.
He held the rose by the stem and gave it to his girlfriend.
Bud.
The flower buds were covered in morning dew. The small flowers begin to bud in spring.
Petal.
She kept bowls of dried rose petals in the living room.
Bulb.
The tulip bulbs will be planted in early spring. The garden was lit by a number of light bulbs.
Shoot.
Tender green shoots will appear on the frozen ground in early spring.
Pollen.
The bees and butterflies carry pollen from flower to flower. The bees and butterflies pollinate flowers.
Wither.
The plants are withering. You had better water them now.
Daffodil.
The bright yellow flowers of daffodils are a wonderful sign of spring. Words in context. In Korea, varied and extensive vegetation grows. Deciduous and evergreen trees thrive, and bushes and shrubs grow under them. In hot, humid summer, moss covers rocks and trees. In winter, farmers grow some crops in the greenhouses to transplant them in spring. They must weed out weeds in the summertime to grow healthy crops. Nowadays, there are a lot of horticultural farms around big cities. In spring, horticulturists often plant rose shrubs. Tender leaves appear on the stalk, and sharp thorns grow on the stems. Then, flower buds grow and red petals open up. Some of them also plant tulip bulbs. In spring, green shoots grow out of the bulbs. Soon, yellow flowers, each of which has petals and pollen in the center, bloom on the top of stems. Horticulturists water the garden regularly so that the flowers don't wither.